Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome to our first online masterclass. It's brilliant to see so many people logging on as I speak for what I'm sure is going to be a really stimulating and thought-provoking session. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kate Davies, and I'm the Executive Director of IMLA. And for those of you who aren't really sure what IMLA is, we are the Intermediary We're the Intermediary Mortgage Lenders Association, the trade body which represents people who work for mortgage lenders and whose main role is to be the interface between that lender and the intermediaries who sell their mortgage products. So all my members are lenders, not intermediaries. And I currently have 53 lenders in membership, ranging from the very largest to some of the very smallest, including building societies and specialists. And we also work very closely with AMI, the Association of Mortgage Intermediaries, of which many of you will be members. You may not be totally aware of that if you are employed by a mortgage club or a mortgage network, but we work very closely with AMI. So how did we come to set up today's masterclass? Back in November 2023, we ran a one-day conference for new and recent joiners to the industry, offering a programme of presentations by leading industry experts who, between them, provided an overview of a variety of policy issues affecting the mortgage industry. And the event also provided a great opportunity for delegates to network with each other and to swap experiences with colleagues from other firms. Our aim was to increase everyone's understanding of the challenges facing the industry. Since then, we've run another 4 similar events, and we have 2 more planned for this year. And they bring together people from lender and intermediary firms. We felt it was really important to get that cross-fertilisation of ideas and experiences. The events have been really well received, and we wanted to build on them by offering some additional online sessions designed to help you develop and strengthen your skills as you grow in your careers. We're conscious that it's not always possible to give up a whole day to travel to an event in person. So these events are online, which of course you're welcome to join live, and many of you are live at the moment, but they're being recorded and they will be kept on the Working in Mortgages website so that you can rewatch them, revise as much as you wish to in the future, and tell all your friends and colleagues how great they are. Over time, we're hoping to build up a library of useful resources which you can keep going back to and share with your colleagues. So that's the background, that's enough of me. On to the real event. And I am delighted to introduce Phil Ball, who's going to lead today's session. Welcome, Phil. Phil has a background in elite sport, and he's now an expert coach. I don't think he's going to get a rugby ball or cricket bat out this afternoon, but he's combining his experience of the principles which underlie success in elite sport performance with success in commerce. And he works with leaders who want to strengthen their influencing and communication skills, with sales teams who need greater commercial clarity and confidence, with managers who are navigating change and cultural shifts, and business founders who need to build scalable, structured sales systems. Phil brings together coaching science, performance psychology, and commercial strategy in a way which I'm sure you are all going to find really insightful and helpful. So welcome, Phil, and over to you.
Thank you very much, Kate, and it's absolute pleasure to be with you this afternoon. A quick question, just to get us started, and just to see if the chat box is working. Could you shut your emails down, okay, for the next 20 minutes and focus in and answer, where are you dialing in from today? Just pop that in to the Q&A box. Where are you dialing in from? I would love to know where we are getting across to in the UK right now. So that's the first question. Let's see where we're actually heading to today. Right. So if we get the slides up, team, we're going to get straight to it. Perfect. So the brief is building authority, gaining trust, and accelerating your career. Okay, accelerating your career. So what I want to do is I want to take you through 4 areas that I work with clients, with people that I've coached before. Some of you on the call today would have been in some of my sessions, and I'm going to give you those 4 things. So it's a bit like a working session. So make sure you've got a notepad out, make sure you've got a pen, be ready, sit down, tune in, and I'm going to take you through those 4 areas. And we're also going to have some Q&A as we go. So if you've got a question, make sure you get into the chat box and ask it. I'm also going to bring Kate in as well along the way. So where do we start with this whole thing when we talk about career? See, in 2026, you don't need 25 years of experience, okay, to have authority anymore, okay? You don't need 10 years of experience, okay, to have authority. What you need are the tools, and you need to work on the skills to build your career, to build your own personal toolkit. All right, so on to the first one, section 1. The section 1, these are the 4 areas. So let's move on to the next one, team. Let's get straight into it. Cool. So we're going to go around these 4 areas. And the first one, do we have any notes on where people are calling in from, by the way? Ah, perfect. Joe, you're in Hertfordshire. North London, Wakefield, Lewis. Ah, hi, Lewis. We've met before. Lisa's in Dorset, Exeter. This is great. Rochester, Ipswich. Kate, we're all over the world here. Hinckley, Loughborough. Hello from Cambridgeshire, Essex, Hertfordshire border. Team, so good. Scotland, good. Can't miss out Scotland. Jesh from Zeo Financing Crew. Love it, love it. London, Cornwall, Leicester. Hello, not sure where you're from, but hi, nice to meet you. So let's get back to it. So the first place we start, the first place we always start, whether you're a business owner, a team member, whether you're starting out in your career on your first day, or whether this is your 10,000th day, okay, we always start here with mindset. Okay, and this is a very, very simple formula. The words aren't going to come up on the screen, so make sure you jot these down as I talk you through it. Okay, the R stands for results. Okay, and if we want better results, this is not career related, this is personal development related, by the way, team. If we want better results, we follow this formula. What comes before results? Our actions. Our actions, our behaviors, our day-to-day activities, okay? That comes first, okay? Now, before actions, so before we pick up that phone, before we answer that message, before we do that thing that we said we were going to do, we have what begins with T, thoughts, okay? Our thoughts. Just pop into the chat box. Lewis, who I know can answer this. He should remember this from the session the other day. So how many thoughts does the average person get per day, team? How many thoughts does the average person, well, let's put Kate on the hot spot straight away. Kate, what do you reckon it is, thoughts per day?
Oh, mine's gone blank. Oh, it's probably thousands, tens of thousands. I don't know. I really don't know.
50,000. 50,000 thoughts per day. And by the way, team, that's the average person. Okay, so that's going to go up and down, okay, with all of us in here. Okay, but that's a lot of thoughts, okay, driving our actions. So let's just think about that for a second. If we do not have control over that element, then, and we will all have a friend, a good friend down the pub, that will think something and say it straight away. If we don't have that control, if we don't have that filter going on, then we can be doing all sorts of different actions, and you'd all experience it, and I experience it a little bit because we're all human, right? If we don't control what we're thinking, then our actions can sometimes get away from us. Okay, so following the formula back again. So before thoughts, it's quite simple, right? What drives your thoughts? Your beliefs drive your thoughts. Your beliefs drive what you think. Okay, and this, team, isn't something that we get taught at school, but it's so important for our mindset, right? We have to believe, right? So right at the top of the call, we talked about accelerating your career. We have to believe that you right now can accelerate your career. We have to believe that you can build trust, and you can build a formula for yourself to build trust. We have to believe that you can gain authority at work, in your job, in your project that you're working on, in your presentation. It all starts with belief. So right at the beginning, my question to you would be, do you believe you can grow your career? Do you believe that you can excel? And the important point here for the 87 people listening today is we have to ask ourselves this question. If you believe, because it's only you on this journey for yourself, you're not responsible to anybody else. It's you and your journey. The first place we have to start is, do I believe I can build my career? Do I believe I can work on these skills? Do I believe that I can actually put my time and effort and energy into this to grow the skills needed to develop my career? So just a quick wrap up of that. If we want better results, yes, we look at actions. Can we make more phone calls? Can we have more meetings? Can we build better ways to close people in conversations? Absolutely. But we must go to our thoughts. Are we preparing for that meeting? Are we thinking the positive thoughts for that particular situation? And what drives that? Our belief. Okay, so important. So just bringing Kate into the conversation. What have you seen a belief shift in people? What does that say to you, Kate?
You haven't rehearsed this one. Yes, I think you see people growing into jobs, and it's great to see someone who's starting out who's maybe a bit nervous to begin with or unsure of themselves. And that a lot of it will come from them internally. A lot of it will come from being encouraged by the right managers, having good role models, seeing how people do things well, how people don't do things so well, and learning from that. And then
Absolutely.
Putting that all together.
Yeah, nice. Thank you very much. We've just got a few more people in Newcastle, Bristol, Cheshire, Bournemouth. It's so good to be touching every town pretty much today in England. Okay, so we start with the beliefs, right? Do we believe that we can do this this career development piece? On to the next one, team. The next one, which is authority. How do we carry authority? How do we practice? How do we train? See, if you're a sporty person, or if you are a musical person, or if you're into arts and crafts, whatever your discipline, whatever your personal discipline, guess what? You'll practice. Right? If you want to get better at the piano, you got to practice piano. If you want to get better at tennis, you got to practice getting better at tennis. Okay, that's just a given, team. We can't just wake up one day and suddenly we're just going to be better. Okay, the second layer to building that trust and authority is to define what authority is. Okay, so my first challenge to you, and there is a bit of a challenge going on today, team, because I am a coach in a day-to-day world, is visibility. Now, in our careers right now, we are based everywhere. We're based in the office, we're based at home, on the computers right now. It's amazing. There's never been a more connected world than what we have right now. But it is essential that we stay visible. Okay, it is super important that going into the office, you know, if you have an opportunity to go into the office, I urge you to go into the office. If you've got an opportunity to go along to a meeting, do what you can to get along to that meeting. Being visible is so important right at the beginning. Just making sure that you can be visible is absolutely essential, because I can tell you, and I work from home a little bit too, team, sometimes when you sat behind your screen and you're doing lots of, you know, cool things for other people, yeah, sometimes it can be a bit of a lonely place. So it's really important that you stay visible. And this isn't just in the workplace, by the way. This is with your friends. This is in social settings. This is in your sports clubs, in your arts and craft clubs. Ensure that we stay visible. The second point here is value. Okay, is value, is defining for yourself the value that you add. Not anybody else, not your manager, not the person you work with, but you being able to define your value is absolutely key. Why? Because we need to end the day and we need to go, wow, look how much value I've added today. I've spoken to this professional or that professional in that discipline, and I've added that piece of value. Well, do you know what, team? Give yourself a pat on the back. Because I can tell you the number one thing that the majority of my clients don't do, and that's finish a day and go, wow, look at how much value I've added today. Look at how much value I've added to the marketplace. Okay, so it's so important to build that authority. And when you're sat in that meeting, if there's 5 or 6 of you in that room, we could be asking ourselves that question: the belief, and am I adding value? How can I add value to this conversation? Now, that might not be the mainstream line of attack. We might have to think outside the box. We might have to generate some new ideas. We might have to come at this whole project or approach completely differently. That's okay. But we have to be adding value, and we have to be clear on the value that we add. Okay. The final thing on authority is voice. And some people might go, well, my voice is my voice. Well, guess what? If you said that to an actor, they would say, well, you can practice your voice, can't you? You can adjust your voice. You can work on your voice. You can work on your tone. You can work on the speed in which you're delivering. You can work on how you accentuate certain words and how you deliver that message. Are there books written on that? There's buckets of books written on that, team. There's so much practice. It goes back to that. If you want to get better at tennis, we've got to work on these skills, right? And you practice. Now, do I practice? Absolutely. And some of you might laugh there, but yeah, you've got to practice, maybe not in front of the mirror. For me personally, it's when I'm driving in my car. I find it way easier when I'm driving, just to go through it and say it out loud. So if it's a meeting introduction, don't let today, the first meeting that we ever have together, be the first time that you make that introduction. Make sure you've practiced that. Hi, my name's Phil, I'm from such and such, and we deliver this value. I'm really looking forward to meeting you today. Practice that. Practice your delivery all the time. It could be to your young children. It could be to friends and family. Yeah, they'll laugh at you the once or twice, but you'll start getting into it. You'll start to really put some value behind kind of listening to how you speak. I mean, Kate, you've got a great example for us there of some self-reflection from the other day. I'm putting you on the spot again. From one of your presentations, what did you notice?
I've been asked to do a podcast for a member, and when I watched the playback, I could hardly understand what I was saying. I speak rather quickly, and I had to concentrate on what I had already said. And I was slightly taken aback. A lot of friends and family tell me I speak very fast, so I need to slow down. But also, I think when you're practicing, it's useful to do it in a mirror. Well, look at yourself. How do you come over to somebody else? How will somebody else see you? Do you have any irritating little tics? Are you aware of how you emphasize things, or use your hands, or move your head around, or whatever?
Yes.
It's some things you might think, oh, that annoys me. It could probably annoy somebody else, or I could make that gesture bigger and make it more emphatic.
Yeah, love that. And practicing in front of the mirror for some of us on the call will be probably stage 2 or 3, right? So we don't have to go straight to the mirror, but one place with modern technology is sending a voice note to your coach or to your friend first, and then listen to the voice note back. And you'll be giving yourself the micro adjustments. Do I really say that long? Is that what I said in that video? God blimey, I need to sort that out. And you're already giving yourself like some self-coaching. So remember this, team, authority isn't given, it's built through contribution. Okay, it's built through your contribution and how you do those things. So you can see how these things are tying together. So we have that belief. Okay, we are ensuring that we're visible, we're getting clear on our value, and then we're also being super clear on our communication. Okay, very quickly, what makes someone stand out to you in a professional setting when we talk about authority?
Sorry, you said to me?
Yes, please,
yeah. Someone who can hold a room. Someone who doesn't need to talk all the time. Particularly, I've spent my life going to meetings, and sometimes the people who are listened to most are the ones who sit quite quietly and then just say one thing, but say it with such sense and insight. and clarity that everyone goes, wow. There's a lot of noise and a lot of burble, but maybe someone has just got the right thing. And I think colleagues may have experience of sending an email around to several people wanting their views, and there'll always be one person who comes back absolutely on the money, has thought of the angles and succinctly pinpointed what's needed.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Team, just a quick check-in because we're already flying along here. I'd like you to put in the chat box all over the country, what's your biggest learning so far? Okay, type it out for me because there's a whole learning pattern that will happen in your brain when you type it out. Just pop it in there, and team, we're going to move along to the next section. So this next one, right, we're already 3 down now. This next one comes from the trusted advisor. Okay, now, how do we build trust? Okay, how do we build trust? Well, if we Google it, we'll come up with 100 different formulas of how we build trust. Okay, but one that I use with my clients and the teams that I work with, I just use this one. It's very, very straightforward. Okay, and do yourself a little self-score here. Okay, think of a particular person or situation, okay, and you can score yourself out of 10 because it's just you and I, right, that are working on this. You don't need to show anybody else. You don't need to put that necessarily into the chat box. But the first place I want to go is credibility. Okay, credibility. Now, some of you on the call will be working for huge organizations, which naturally might carry a lot of credibility. Some of us might be working for slightly more agile organizations. Again, huge credibility, but get clear on the credibility. If you're right at the start of your journey, then use the organization that you're a part of, okay, to help you build your credibility, standing on the shoulders of, really organized and well executed businesses. Right, that's your credibility layer. If you've got 10 years experience, then great, put 10 years experience in. Okay, this is the first area of building trust. The second area is reliability. Now, reliability, we all think it's a bit of a given, right? And we apply just common sense here, team, right? So what do we score ourselves out of 10 on reliability? Do we show up when we say we're going to show up? Do we send that email in the time frame we agreed to send that email? Which, by the way, always give yourself an extra 24 hours, team. Okay, so we have to ensure that we are reliable. Are we turning up 10 minutes early to the meeting and building that into our calendar and into our day so that we become more and more reliable? What does it do? It increases our trust score. Now, the third one, and I leave this one open without the answers on there, is professional intimacy, which for some of us some of you will be thinking, well, I do that naturally. Fantastic. You're doing part of it naturally is great. Now we just need to work on it. Professional intimacy. What else are they interested in? What else do they get up to? That could be sport. That could be something on the weekend. That could be an extra layer to build that level of trust. So important. All the time we keep it in that kind of inside work mode, we'll be searching for inside work mode moments. But to get that extra level of trust, then we have to know what they get up to outside of work so we can build that professional intimacy. Okay, so once you've scored all that, maximum 30, let's say, 10, 10, 10, we divide it. We divide it by self-orientation. Everything that's about me. And guess what, team? Right now, no one really cares who I am and what I do and where I've been and where I've grown up and all my career history. So I don't want to give you any of that because the quickest way I can build trust with you is to give you value, right? To give you things to work on. It's not self-orientation. See, if I started this call, oh, my name's Phil, well, I was born here and I did this and I did that. No one cares. You don't care about that. And I get that. And that's exactly what the same is when you're building trust with other people. So the line here is be interested not interesting. Don't be the one wailing off with stories and people are losing interest. Ask better questions. You know, and are there books written on how to ask great questions? There absolutely is. Okay, engaging questions and questions that get people thinking a little bit more than perhaps the normal person or the other person they met who's in a similar boat.
This is very interesting, Phil. You're saying find out about people, the professional intimacy, finding out about people's interests and what they do, perhaps about their family, their backgrounds, and then asking better questions. You also need to be pretty intuitive about not pushing their boundaries, not being intrusive with your questions.
Yeah,
Picking
absolutely.
up they're saying, hey, I don't want to share that much, actually. Can we get back to the agenda?
Yeah, absolutely. And engaging that early on is absolutely vital. So, you know, we're potentially talking about a long-term trust building exercise here. Perhaps not on meeting one of you and I, Kate. Am I saying, oh, what did you do on Friday evening? You know, perhaps it's not going to that level straight away. But if we're working with somebody for 6, 12, 18, 2 years, 5 years, then it's about kind of understanding that element. So I'd weave that in over a longer period.
Having listened to what they've given away, if they've mentioned family or they've mentioned children. I mean, I wouldn't ask someone I didn't know very well if they had children, for example.
Absolutely.
But if they've mentioned children, they've mentioned schools, they've mentioned holidays, whatever, then they've
Perfect.
given you permission to go there.
Perfect. And that's absolutely. Sometimes, you know, in those conversations, they might only just breeze past it and say, oh, I took the kids to football on Sunday, right? And some people might just go, oh yeah, okay, let's get on with the agenda. But perhaps if we were building, we might say, oh, did you win? You know, how did the game go? You know, and then now they're reflecting in that moment. So it's a tiny bit, but you're building. But what I think we need to note is we're building trust there along the way. I'm just going to read out what some of the learnings are. I appreciate we're a bit over time, but I've got one more area to go through. Challenging, forgive me, team. Challenging my thoughts, beliefs positively to get to get best possible results. Blocking out distractions, love that. Practicing voice and how I'm presenting. The visibility part in the sense of being seen, not necessarily all the time, but in different environments. Obtaining better understanding of my voice. Practice, more self-awareness, great. Thinking about intentions. Wow, there's so many good things here, team. Thinking about being able to articulate my value. Thank you. Some really, really good points there and learnings. So the key bit here under trust is be interested, not interesting. Okay. Right, final section, team, and then we've got some Q&A. Yeah, what's your plan? Right. So we can do all this great stuff. Okay. But what is your plan? Okay. Now, your personal plan has got nothing to do with your parents. It's got nothing to do with your partner, spouse, whoever else might be. It's got nothing to do with work. Okay. It's your personal journey and you're on this journey. Okay. So make sure you take time to have a plan. Okay. Because with a plan, you can start getting clarity. And everybody on this call is if they believe they can have a fantastic career, you'll have a fantastic career. Right? I know that sounds very easy for me to say that, but I urge you, every single person has their own journey. You're all on your own journey. Okay. And it's so important that you have a plan. So with the plan, okay, and I'll share my plan, right? You should be able to get it in one sentence. Okay, try and get it into one sentence. Let me give you my plan. It's going to give you some steer, right? I am on the planet to coach 1 million people. Okay, I am on the planet to coach 1 million people. Okay, I started out 16, 17 years old coaching hockey. Okay, and I coached kids and adults and all sorts, right? And I still do a bit of hockey coaching today, but I also weave in business coaching, team BDM sessions and work with some great businesses. Okay, but my one sentence plan is to coach 1 million people, whether they're whether they're investing in a full coaching program or whether they're just coming down for one session like this, okay, I'm on the planet to coach 1 million people. That's my one plan. So I urge you to do a couple of things, okay? Now, I've worked on my plan, even though you can say it in one sentence. I urge you to write it down, okay? Write down your plan, okay? Share it. If somebody laughs at your plan, okay, say thank you very much, and you don't need to share your plan with them, okay? Hang around with the people that look at your plan and go for it, Kate. Love it. Really cool. Love that. Oh, that's so cool. Where did you get that from? These are the people that you hang around with. Anybody that laughs at your plan, you just say, thank you very much, and move on. Okay, but are there books on planning your career? They're absolutely here. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, good to great. There's loads of ones. Some of these are American authors, so you have to kind of battle through some of that great Americanness that they have, but they just make it really, really clear and simple. Write it down. Have one plan. On to the next slide for me, team. And I just wanted to wrap up because we're at 101. So let's just recap very quickly, and then Kate's got a couple of questions. And if you've got any questions, team, I'd love for you to put in the chat box, like get your questions in now. If you want any quick tips or any situations that you're going through right now, please, please, please get into the question. So you and your career right now. If you want better results, the formula is beliefs, thoughts, actions equals results. Okay, don't get hung up in one area. Just go to the one back and start working on that and start working. So if it's actions, go to your thoughts, start working on your thoughts. If it's thoughts, go to beliefs and start working on your beliefs. Most of us wouldn't have a written set of beliefs down. It's quite unusual to do that, but I'm urging you to consider that. Then we've got the authority build, okay? Visibility, adding value, getting clarity with your voice. Then on to trust. There is a small formula. There's hundreds of formulas out there. The one that I use is this one: credibility, reliability, personal intimacy. Making sure that we don't talk too much about ourselves. And look at those emails, team. Those emails, I want a meeting, I want this, I want us to do this next. No. It's their meeting. Okay, it's really, really important that it's about them, not about you. And then we capture it in a plan. And if we ever meet, I'd love to say hello to you at a conference or wherever it might be. And I'd like you to come up and say to me, Phil, I've written it down. I've written my plan down. That's it. Thank you very much.
Wow, thanks, Phil. Should we give people a couple of minutes to think about questions to pop into the box? And I'd like to ask you one. But just what you were saying about listening to people, catching people's tone of voice and email. When I took over IMLA, I had lots of members who I didn't know. And trying to get to know people by email is quite difficult because some people don't type very fast and they don't type very much. Dare I say it, men are even more sparse with their typing than women. I needed to go out and have lots and lots of coffee with people and meet them eyeball to eyeball and have a joke and work out how cheeky I could be, which football teams they like, whether they're rugby fans, whatever. And then once you've built that, you can have those really friendly ding-dong emails in a way that you can't when you don't quite know somebody. So I would say that's really important. And kind of leading on from that, I suspect a lot of people on this call were still at school or at college and suffered in the COVID years. So they were at home, working at home all the time, probably in their bedrooms or off their ironing boards in the kitchen, having to do online meetings, and maybe lost a bit of confidence in terms of going into the office. Perhaps it got easier to stay at home. You felt you were doing more, especially if you were juggling home responsibilities and things. It made not having to commute. But you're missing out a lot if you're not having that face-to-face contact. Do you find some of the people who you are helping have to get over that in a way that those of us who had a much easier time during COVID haven't suffered?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think what happened during that COVID period was we quickly adapt to our setting, and obviously working from home and some people obviously were on furlough. We adapt to that setting, and then it's change. right? So we have to change it up. So we go from meeting, I don't know what I met, like 3 people a week in COVID, and then obviously we go back to that norm. It can be quite daunting at the beginning. So it's really important, and I guess it comes back to that. And why I put visibility in there is because if at the beginning you can make it to 1 or 2 meetings or get along to 1 or 2 occasions, I think we need to mix up our social interactions. We need to mix up what we're doing and actually get out there and kind of, not politely push ourselves into those uncomfortable situations. Because when you do it, if you come out of your comfort zone, guess what happens next time? Like once you've done the big red slide once, you stand there and go, oh, I've done the big red slide, but when I was stood up there, I was absolutely, but like once you've done it, you're like, oh, that's okay, we can do it again. So it's just kind of like giving yourself a little nudge along as you do it. Hopefully that answers your question, Kate.
Yeah. Are there questions coming into the chat that
There
you would
are,
like
yeah.
to take?
Yeah,
I'd much rather hear from people on the call than use mine. Would you like to select one?
Here we go. So it doesn't matter who they're coming in from, team, but how to motivate yourself when you're having a day when you feel like you're in a slump. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody in the world has days like this. Okay, but the first place I go to is we want to own the day rather than the day owning us. Okay, so we completely respin how we look at the day. So the first questions I would ask you is, what do you do in the first hour of your day, right? And if it's reactive, so I go onto my emails, I check my WhatsApp. And by the way, team, I'm bad at this, right? You check your WhatsApp, has my mate replied about the golf trip or whatever it is that we're going to do? That's reactive. We're not controlling the day at the beginning. So what's the best way to motivate ourselves? Have a routine at the start of the day which doesn't require anybody else to make us feel great. Okay, now that comes with a lot of hard self-development work, but it is ensuring that we are doing everything we can to be in control. In the sporting world, we call it control the controllables. So what are we in control of in the first hour of our day? Okay, what are we deciding? What attitude are we waking up with every single day? And this is, my dad is a big role model for me. We grew up every morning, or I grew up every morning. He'd say, Phil, don't worry about the weather, mate, because you ain't gonna be able to change that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that stuck with me. And that was like, wow, so many, and it's like such an old saying, isn't it? But, how many of us see the grey skies outside and kind of go, oh, it's grey skies outside? No, we have to buck that trend and like believe we're going to have a good day. So, how do you motivate yourself when you're having a slump? So every now and again, we're going to have a little slump. We'll have a bad kind of 5 minutes, not a bad day. You're allowed a bad half an hour. You're allowed to box it up and not, do that thing. But then you've got to come back and you've got to build in those mechanics, whatever it is, walk around the block, quick coffee, get up, go to the coffee machine, ring your friend, voice note your friend, whatever it is, do something that can just kick you out of that particular mindset just there. Cool. There's a couple more coming in. Let's hit them off then. Lucy, advice on having the confidence to ask questions to senior directors in a formal meeting if you are fairly junior, and also answering them confidently following a presentation. Wow. So advice on having the confidence to ask the questions to senior directors. It's very, very straightforward. For me, Lucy, is the question adding value to the conversation? If you believe that question is adding value to the conversation, then what is stopping us? Okay, so I would write down those questions. I would get clarity on what the presentation is around, and if it's So I'm just trying to gauge the setting here. If it's you presenting to the senior directors, one homework piece would be, let's anticipate some of the senior director questions. Okay, because once we've anticipated those questions, we've now got a formula to basically go, Kate, I'm so glad you asked me that, because here's my response, X, Y, Z. Okay, so yeah, that would be, but confidence is built through, practice and repetition. So putting yourself in those situations, and the fairly junior bit, that's absolutely cool. Own that space, right? Own that particular space. Love that. Hopefully it answers your question. Let's go for another one. The value of being around other like-minded people and professionals to learn from is pure gold. Well, thank you very much. I think that's a key learning. Are there any other questions, team? Kate, you also present and have people present to you. Do you have any advice for Lucy here?
Oh, practice. I remember I had a boss once who said, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. Don't try and wing things. I mean, sometimes we all have to wing a bit, but I always need to prepare. And if I'm giving a presentation, I do use auto cue, things like that. I also like to have my comfort blanket and have it written down somewhere. And remember that people listening to you want you to be confident. There's nothing worse than going to an event and having someone standing up and umming and ahhing and having their head down and looking terrified, because you end up feeling sorry for them and not really listening to what they're saying. But if you are if you can project that confidence, even if you're just saying, do you know what? Today is Wednesday. You'll find people go, today is Wednesday. That's gold. That's magic. You haven't actually said anything, but the way you said it was, got their confidence. And the way you walk onto a stage and you look as if you know what you're doing, people go, oh, this is going to be good. Yeah, it's a great start. I'm just keeping an eye on the time, because I think we are possibly beginning to come to the end. There's maybe time for one more quick question, if there is one in there.
I think we're actually all good for questions.
Okay. Right. I have one thing I do want to mention to people who are listening. There's a QR code. I think you can see it on the feedback survey. There it is, the QR code. Please do click on that or photograph it, or whatever you do with QR codes, and give us some feedback on today. This was our first session of this type. We are going to do 3 more this year, but we want to be offering and delivering something that you listening and watching are going to find useful. And I hope a lot of you have found it useful. I've certainly learned a lot from Phil this morning. Thank you very much for your questions. Thank you for your participation, and enjoy the rest of your day and week. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. Cheers, guys. Have a fantastic day.